Hello, friends, and welcome back to Literacy Time. Are you ready for some more fun? Good, let's get started. Today, we are going to be listening to Corduroy for the last time and speaking about something that you've always wanted to do. Then, we will be writing about that thing that we have always wanted to do. For the last time, we are going to use the book Corduroy to go over the parts of a book. So if we're looking at the front cover, we see the title of the book, the biggest words on the page, and the name of the book. So the title is Corduroy. And also on the front cover, we have the author and the illustrator. What does the author do? Writes the words. And what does the illustrator do? Draws those beautiful pictures. Now we turn to the back cover. Sometimes there's information about the book or a picture. And then what holds the book together? The spine. Good work. So when we are reading Corduroy today, we are going to be focusing on the things that Corduroy has said that he always wants to do. Some things that he's always wanted to learn how to do. So really focus on those parts in this story today. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then, one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's big eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps." Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. "Could this be a mountain?" he said. "I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain." He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there, before his eyes, was a most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. "This must be a palace," Corduroy gasped. "I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace." He wandered around admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed." And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once he saw something small and round. "Why, here's my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up. But like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both paws until, pop! Off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Bang! Into a tall floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now, who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw two fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning. And there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night, I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the saleslady asked. "Oh, no, thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up. How many flights of stairs? 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. "This must be home," he said. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder straps fastened." "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and she gave him a big hug. Alrighty, so we want to focus on the parts of the book that talked about things that Corduroy has always wanted to do. Today we are going to need crayons, the lesson 4 activity sheet, and of course, that imagination. For our activity today, we are going to be using our imagination and really thinking about something that we have always wanted to do. Now, in this book, Corduroy, a couple of times, talks about things that he's always wanted to do. So I want you to look back in the story and try and find those times, okay? So we're going to look through here, and I'm going to give you an example. Now, one of my favorite ones that he says in here is on this page here. What do you think he wanted to do here? Do you remember? Yes, he's going on the escalator, but what does it remind him of that he's always wanted to do? Let's see. He says, "Could this be a mountain?" he wondered. "I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain." So something that he had always wanted to do was climb a mountain, and going on that escalator made him feel like that because he went up, 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 up until he reached the top. Now, I really want you to think, what is something you've always wanted to do? I'm going to give you an example, okay? You can also look and try and find some other things that Corduroy wanted, and maybe it's the same for you. But try and think of a couple of different things, and then you're going to draw it and write it with our sentence starter, because it says, "I've always wanted to," and I'm going to write go, G-O, surfing. So I've always wanted to go surfing, period. Now I'm going to draw that, okay? So if you're going surfing, I do that in the water, but I need the big wave to be there too, not just some on the ground, right? Not just some over here. I need some in the air to surf on. Now, what color should I make my surfboard? I think I'm going to do purple. So I would draw my surfboard. Mine would have these cool lines on it. Maybe even some pink dots on it. And then, of course, I need to draw myself. So I'm going to, let's see, draw my head, my body, my legs on the surfboard, my arms out to the side so I can balance. I would draw my hair, would probably be really wet, but I would draw my hair. I would draw my eyebrows and my eyes. And I would be smiling because my emotion while surfing would probably be very excited. So my mouth might be open, like really excited to be surfing. So that's something I've always wanted to do, and hopefully one day I'll be able to. So my friends, I want you to really think hard on something you've always wanted to do. You're going to draw that, and you're going to fill in the sentence starter on the activity sheet. I also want you to try and find the other things in the story that Corduroy always wanted to do. Do you feel the same way? Let's see. I hope everyone was able to find all of the times that Corduroy said in the story something that he's always wanted to do. Make sure you share that with a family member or a friend, along with your own drawing and writing of something you've always wanted to do. I will see you back here on Monday for literacy time. Bye.